I am too tired. Normally on Fridays I'd be playing a different game, not DDO, but I am too unrested to make that happen today. It's gonna be a long couple of days. Long couple of days. So, look at this. What do we got? We got some 29s. And some 23s. Cool. Guild morning. Let's get the Who panel filled in so we can have an updated grouping panel, see what's going on. I should just go do this, but I don't want to. I want to wait and save it for next go around. Oh man, we did keep on the Borderland last night. I should start up the other account, right? We're just gonna do chain 2. I'm so brain fried. Yeah, it's probably what should happen. You ever have one of those days where you you get your normal like 6 hours of sleep or whatever and you're still tired? In my experience, I find that usually means that I was processing something in my subconscious was processing, so it didn't take time off. That's what I think happened last night. All right, let's get the wife's account logged in. Let's do some chain 2 action. I think it'll just be easier. No doubling up, please. Sig is on. He just logged on. Alright, did we get all these turned on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think so. Alright. Let's key over. Alright, let's whip out the wife's account. Let's just key her over. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. And I guess we can go get in the live stream chat in the off chance that somebody feels like chit-chatting. Oh yeah, speaking of someone feels like chit-chatting, good morning.
Hey.
What is going on, my friend? It's working, yeah? Oh, hang on. Still stuck on push to talk. There we go, let's try that. Good morning, my friend.
Hey.
I was still stuck on push to talk because that's dumb.
Yeah, it is.
So anyway, fight your way back to daytime, did you?
I gotta stay up a little late today, but yeah.
Good. I don't know how you How you always get yourself in the situation like that where you're... Hey, thanks, Nate. Appreciate that. Where you find yourself in the situation where you're having daytime, nighttime flip issues.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah, I don't know, I guess I fight for my poopy schedule and I have a hard time getting off of it, I guess. I don't know if you...
It's like having relaxed static stability except sleeping.
Yeah, see, I feel like instead I just don't sleep. Anyway, Nate's on a 3 months. Thanks, Nate. Appreciate the support as always, my friend. Ugh. Instead of doing chain 3 and 4 or 2 and 3 and whatnot last night when I was awake enough to actually have some idea what was happening, I instead went and did a bunch of raids with the ED people.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, I think I got about 2 levels out of the deal, but that means I'm even further ahead of the wife's account than I'd planned, but it's not vital with that account. It gets to 30 right away.
Well, I'm one quest away from having my all 30, and I'm going to box it.
Box it?
Yep.
No, back up to...
Yeah, I figured out that going to 36 points is not going to do it a whole lot of good. So I'm just going to make it 34 and call it a day.
Oh. Yeah, I've been thinking about what your plan has been, and for me, I think I'll probably go ahead and try to work Torrance around here a little bit as we're doing things. She's only a couple of lives away from having her completionist done, so trying to decide if I want to put her in a position where like doing a little bit of runaround's not that big of a deal. So I'm trying to decide if I want to make her mostly useful for me to be helpful in epics, or do I want to go ahead and just pull her around every time? Pull her out every big thing, you know? Or just get her up to 30. She's got at least 1 plus 20 heart on her. From whatever balance thing that they did and all weird. I don't know if raids equal easy experience, but it certainly is a bunch of experience if you otherwise would not do them, which I normally would not do them, so... That and the ED folks in general are pretty good guys and gals. They're not afraid to hard carry little level 21 Samus through the Shroud.
Oh, Shroud. 2 to 3 people doing the Shroud, everyone else on there, whatevers.
No, I mean, things are dying really fast. Like, it's possible 2 or 3 people, but I think there's more than that. I think there's at least probably half the group was doing the Shroud. Maybe more. Maybe more. I feel like I need to go south, like, a bunch. Come here, Dire Bear. Maybe not yet. So, You're planning on coming down for things
Yeah.
on Monday.
Yeah, I need to figure out the logistics and such.
That's what I was about to ask if you had figured that
I
stuff
don't
out
know
yet. Yeah, I don't.
I figured that out.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it because we were planning that vacation, and we'll be driving back from Oklahoma on Monday. So there's like very little chance that I would be able to make it back in a reasonable time frame. Could potentially make it late in the evening on Monday, but seems unlikely. I think my mother's gonna go because she and Zach's parents were very close, or are very close, or something. And I gotta find where I'm going. And that's one of the places we're gonna go visit. So I could probably have ride with her, but then that would leave the wife trying to drive the van by herself, or sorry, the bus by herself back from Oklahoma. That sounds like a recipe for divorce. So, probably not the best idea in the world. Alright, so I was just on the wrong side of the hill. Perfect. That I can fix. Yeah, dragging two alts around, or two accounts around, can be problematic. But I did take the time to farm her up a horse last night. That's certainly helping.
It helps. Doing quests that don't require going through Explorer Zones helps too.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't have to go to 30. She's not an iconic, so I'm not as worried about her experience over the next however many lives or whatever. But it would be nice to get her to 30, or at least fill out in a couple of these destinies she's missing. She's not missing a lot, but a little bit here, a little bit there. So I'll run her around for some of these things. She's not the priority. I'm the priority, but still nice. Alright. Thingamabob on. I invoked my power last night to get a Fey Twisted raid chest. And
I heard there was a Fate Twist chest last night.
Yep, I invoked my power. I called it before the raid got started, and then I invoked it again at the end, and as usual, when I invoke my magic powers, it succeeded. But it was a pretty not great chest, in my opinion.
Did any Fate Twisted items drop?
We had 2 of the rapiers drop. I don't know if they're twisted or anything super fancy about them, but or if they're just the normal raid items. But I remember thinking that was a little bit disappointing. I think those rapiers are quite good, but I was hoping that if the Fade chest drops, everyone got a piece of the raid loot, but apparently not.
I just hope that the rates are high enough to where it's not one of those things like good luck on your build if you need that particular item or want that item.
Right.
Like, or maybe you should drop Fate Twisted Runes or something. I don't know. I feel like there should be a relief valve.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I'm not a eternal grind person, but I don't mind there being some sort of high chase
spell situation.
Yeah. Where I still don't think Java's gotten a NOS belt yet. it's not the end of the world. Ugh. Speaking of what is the end of the world, though, I didn't bring a healer. Although I should be able to jump through the big portal in the middle and then go back to Evening Star. Get one and come right back.
I have a bard in my quest. He's healing me great.
Yeah, thankfully the wife still needs a bard life, so kind of thinking maybe that'll be where she goes. Take me to Shingadingadong, please. Alright. So other than staying up a whole bunch, what's your plans for today?
I'm gonna stay up a whole bunch.
You're not gonna stay up a whole bunch?
I do have to.
That's what I thought. Are you working on more VOD soloing?
No, I've done it for a bit. I did it. I do it in higher settings than required difficulty, I think.
Hmm. So I saw that you had posted a new video on your YouTube channel, Attempt 1 or something. So I didn't...
Yeah, they had to order because it succeeded and I wanted to have the video up right away. But I had some fails that were still rolling in.
See. I know I said I just, I looked at it, I was like, oh, nice. I thought you had already done it, but then I thought maybe you were trying to do it on SIG or something.
Oh, God, no.
Not gonna lie, I only like watched the first little bit of the video. I didn't pay super close attention, and then I thumbs upped it. So, because I pretend to be a good friend when it comes to supporting people's YouTube channels.
Yeah, it is not a very exciting watch.
Yeah.
There's a lot of standing around. 90 minutes of standing around.
There's a lot of standing around in VOD anyway, but I imagine doing all the beatdown is probably the case.
Doing it on a basically tank, yeah, it's
yeah, I bet it's a lot of stand there with your auto attack on.
Yeah, auto attack was part of the key to winning because my finger got real sore if I didn't do it.
I bet that's the case.
I'm not joking. Like,
I'm not disagreeing. I'm saying I bet that's the case. Oh my god.
You gotta fight fatigue. You cannot take your hand off the keyboard very much, if at all.
Yeah, that sounds...
There's consideration.
That sounds terrible.
Like it is.
Now you gotta get that down to like 25 minutes though.
Like my normal was 30 minutes.
Wow, that's quite a long time. But but 2/3 less time than on hard.
Yeah.
I guess what that really means, and you can of course correct me, but that just means
3-hour lead.
That I can. Oh, I didn't even think about 3-hour elite, but that sounds correct too. No, no, it just means that you can pike 11 other people through that raid.
In theory.
It just takes 11,000 hours, right?
Yeah. I mean, if they're all bards, it might work. If I can
just
get
saying.
the temporary hit points synced up just right, that'd be pretty good.
Just saying that it's time for it's time for you to roll up what, 11 other alts?
Yeah, no thanks.
How long would it take for you to only doing VODs get someone from 20 to 30?
I feel like it's not very efficient.
Well, it doesn't have to be very efficient. You just do it like once a week or twice a week. All 11 accounts.
That's a lot of raid timers.
Once or twice a week? I don't know. I feel like once or twice a week you could get your 11 other alts in there. Alright, let's load up Tobrel A through Z.
They're named with numbers, actually.
I'm sorry. Alt 2 through 13. Let's go.
Hey, speaking of alts, my little person is 30.
Hey, congrats.
Time to make her 20.
Time to make her 25 again. So what are you doing for leveling?
Let's see what that feat and this feat. Scion of whatever that is. Yep, that looks good. So for me, I think I'll still go ahead and do some Slayer. Orchard Slayer is still relatively efficient.
Oh, it's still real good.
Especially if you get a group.
Yeah, it's real good.
I just did 26 to 30 with Ravenloft, a couple harbor things, and it's like part of Shroud Flag and half of Defiler Flag. So that means you just had to do a few other quests, and that's all you got to do to go from 20 to 30.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking, if like in, 45 minutes when you're ready to re-level that character, if you're doing some things that a melty brain could hike along on, I would very possibly do that.
Maybe. I do have to do a little bit of work type stuff today.
It's all good. I don't think I'm going to do the full stream today. I'm in the process of building a toilet for the bus, and I think that's what is both distracting me and keeping me.
I mean, if you have to poop, go poop. You don't have to build a toilet.
Well, if I was always going to be at the lake, I could just use a lake facility or dig a hole, right? Like,
I mean, you have a toilet in your house. Just go use that.
I do at the moment, but this is for the bus. It's the bus toilet. So the problem is that the way I sleep and the way the wife uses the restroom in the middle of the night, if we're going to be parked someplace public, I feel like I should probably have access to some sort of restroom facility without, sitting in front of my grandparents' house and get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, put the dogs out, and then squat in their front yard. I don't think they would appreciate that. Their neighbor's security light comes on, starts auto-recording somebody out there. Then they have to have this really awkward conversation about why your grandkids are pooping in the front yard. This just seems unwise to me.
Just tell them everybody poops.
Everybody does poop, but not everybody digs a little hole in their grandparents' yard at 2 o'clock in the morning to take a poop.
I mean, I've had it.
I mean, I guess that's true. We could probably pull it together if we really needed to. And when's the last time you pooped in your grandmother's yard?
I don't know.
I bet you were still wearing diapers at the time. I've got to work in spell power somewhere. Healing spell power, and it'd be okay to have some electric spell power on this build too. But mostly healing spell power. Speed up these in combat heals. Which, by the way, the offhand or the offhand versatility does speed up healing quite a bit.
Crit heals guaranteed every 20 seconds.
Well, every critical every 20 seconds maybe. But yeah, that's the general idea. I think it's going to be very strong.
Alright, well, Mr. Ruby, let's go get you a quick.
Ooh.
I think that's the correct choice for somebody who has nothing.
Yeah. Yep, that's what Nate and I decided, and then I don't know if Floor picked anything at all, and I still haven't picked anything either. I'm still leaning towards the rune arm.
I'm gonna get the threat reduction ring. It turns into an augment.
Yeah, if I spend more time at 30, I think I'd be more inclined to grab something that turned into an augment as well, but
Oh, this party thing goes in the bag, didn't it?
yeah, they go in the green bag. All the party favors. By the way, I don't know if you saw this, but I updated the guild message. I didn't even know they did this. But they also gave away one of those potions that you can drink, and then every time you kill something in a regular quest, you have a chance to earn party favors.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know if it... Okay. I don't know if it works in Slayer zones or not, but if it does, that should be pretty good.
I use it today or tomorrow here. Where? This party favor thing goes in the...
Pretty sure it's a green bag. Like 40% sure.
Collectible.
Yeah, it's a green bag.
It's the punch. I need the ticket.
The ticket from the thingy, from the code.
There it is.
It also gives a green bag.
There it is. It says neither party nor ticket. He's a token.
That makes much sense, I guess. I know you're not allowed to really complain about things that were bugged and then get repaired to work the way they're intended. Just enjoy them while you can. But man, I really miss color spray just hitting everything.
Oh, good times. I'm glad I rode that wave when it was hot.
Just
early and often, that's the key.
Just color sprayed and hit nothing. Everybody saved. I was sad.
Those hybrid caster woes.
Yeah, my DCs
You're still doing that build?
Yeah, I'm still on the weird alchemist bard thing. The DC shouldn't be too bad for right now. Like, none of that stuff's affected by caster load. So, like, apparently I'm not allowed to see what anything is. There we go. Spellcasting. Yeah, I'm plus 11 or plus 12 to my illusion bonus right now. So what? 17 plus 12 plus my wisdom or my charisma, so plus another 27. So yeah, it's not super high, but it's not going to get super high. period. Because I just can only do so much slotting of.
I tinker toyed with
DC boosting stuff right now.
Melee Arty Caster and couldn't figure out how to do it. The gear's just not there.
So
I mean, like infinity more slots and all the affixes that can go into augments or something. Different sets.
I don't know. The damage is doing fine. It could obviously be higher, but I think that's doing the drow weapon as my weapon choice instead of switching.
Drow weapon should be pretty good.
I mean, it's fine. I'm currently doing 4.3 D6 plus 75 with a 13 to 20 times 3 critical.
A level 21, that's exceptional.
I'm 23.
A level 23, that is still exceptional.
Nah, should be better than that. What am I missing? Should be hitting this. But the attack speed on it is pretty good, and the crit chance, the crit chance is very good. But what kind of makes this thing work is that I have so many cleaves. Also, so it's got a high single target, but it also has a pretty reasonable wave clear target. Let's skip to the fighting. Do I have what? Yes, I have all the tome pages. Also have all the shield stuff if you're just gonna go melt them. I'd probably be more inclined to give you a set of shield things if you're just gonna melt it.
Oh, that's fine too. Yeah, this is gonna be turned into a what you call it?
Speaking of getting melted, I think I'm about to. Can't hold this all forever. Let me out, please, DDO. Body surfing is not an option right now.
Might see like a regular auction house or something.
Oh, I imagine right now they're all sold.
That's probably true.
Yeah, if anything, I should turn around and have listed all that stuff on the shard exchange and whatnot. Probably did pretty well. But save all that stuff for guildies. Yeah, I think I have like 7 shield books or whatever shield complete shields, and I think I have like 3 or 4 complete tome books. So I can help you out here in a little bit.
That would be excellent.
How is it like I can finish chain these 3 quests in chain 2, and then I can meet you over in Evening Star to pick up the end fight? The end quest. Alright, good. If it's like, no, I really need to do this in 5 minutes, then I'll probably have to wait.
Little Miss Ruby can wait a bit. She has to do a little bit of stuff anyhow. Oh wait, no, she doesn't. I got an iconic card wood. Just good to go. From not Heart Seeds, but the Accommodations of Valor.
I've been doing Accommodations of Valor a lot. I think I'm finally going to even out this life. So I'll probably have to hard seed it.
I went out on Heart Seeds and started taking Commons of Valor for potions. Prize and spell power potions.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of those things, so. And I got in the habit of taking guild renown, so I think I've only taken like 3 things with comms, so. Kaplong.
Let's see, where does she need to go? She needs to go to the marketplace. That is where the
Nader
person
sending
that
me.
grinds you to dust is.
Nader is sending me firearms listings. Is your gun re-available for purchase? Is that what you're trying to say? Nope, it's back out of stock again.
So from level 26 to here, the capped, I used 43 minutes of 50 pot.
Ah. Yeah, I'm not as worried about that part, I don't think. Like, the reason I decided to... I mean, obviously you've been having some success with it, or have a plan to have some success with it, but I was actually just... I've been using the wife's account for boosting Slayer Zone stuff, you know, and the character I was using that was in the right level range was so slow. Didn't have any sort of fast travel assistant stuff happening.
Oh yeah, you gotta make those characters have a teleport or something.
Yeah.
And preferably greater teleport.
Right.
Either scroll or
well, and she could
preferably spell.
She could have done that stuff, but I just mean like. So I was, for example, I would use her. Her artificer to tank the red name in for Grim Disturbance Slayer, right? When I do Slayers on the second pass on the Epic Life. So, like, physically just getting her out to the Grim Disturbance thing is so far away, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. Where this character currently has not just teleport and D-door and all that fast travel stuff and a reasonable amount of buffs for me, but also she's was set up as an air sort, so she go a little faster even still, and blah blah blah. So just like, I'm heroic. This will be easy enough to pull her along and get her into 20s, and then kind of fiddle with. Because getting to 4 people in your Slayer group is like very important over and over and over again through this game.
Makes a difference. Having somebody else there also helps kind of prime the pump.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just for things that involve spawn numbers, you got to get to 4. Like it's nice to have several people helping, obviously keeping things clear. It makes your Slayer potions and stuff like that more effective, but getting to 4 is where it kicks up a notch in the amount of spawns. So depending on when I'm playing, sometimes it's real easy to fill that, and sometimes it's real hard to fill that. So instead of needing 3 people to join me, just having 2 people join me seems to be much easier. Oh my gosh. They keep knocking her off her horse trying to run through here. I guess it's a good thing she's got leaps. Just leap her around.
So, my people I created are mostly Bard with enough fighter to pick up the fighter run speed from Stance.
Oh yeah, that's
And
smart.
Barbarian. I knew I wasn't going to farm horses on them. Well, I didn't think I was going to, and I haven't. And so I tried to make the fastest possible thing I could.
Yeah, that's smart.
The Bard's also not. I respec one of the Bards to be full Spellsinger also, so it's a little slower than the others now, but it is full Spellsinger. And then having a region song is. I think I probably should find her some spell power too, but just having a spell point regen is kind of nice. I'm usually anti Spellsinger. With the exception of that, if you're all spell DPS, or if it's like heroic, because they're going to be a fucking wrecking crew.
Yeah, they're
in hardcore. They're going to be real strong. They were already strong.
Yeah, I think it's going to kind of suck for me because I'm looking at probably a barbarian for the next hardcore, and I obviously I did the Spellsinger Bard thing already once. So some people, mostly Beef, but some other people have been pushing me to be out of my comfort zone for the next hardcore. And obviously I would kill right now to be a Spellsinger Bard, I think, on the hardcore. I think it'll just be absolutely bonkers. That half elf.
It's gonna be real good.
Yeah, that half elf Spellsinger Bard is just gonna wreck hardcore.
I feel like the melee arty, this is gonna sound weird, but I feel like the melee arty could be good too.
That's my backup. It's part of the reason I'm doing this build. When I originally kind of was thinking about it, I was thinking 5-15, so you would have access to deadly weapons eventually, and I was trying to build it in such a way that I would use the conjured shadow blades while leveling, because gear is often problematic. Yeah. So like, again, certain people are not understanding what I'm experimenting with, but this is like, we're getting close to the point where I'm spending all of my spare time in my build opportunities looking at hardcore options, trying to figure out what it is I want to play for the next hardcore, because it's a month away. It'll be next month. They're quote unquote looking at next month, but it'll be next month. It could be earlier, but I imagine it'll start next month. What? Oh, I didn't get everybody here. Put just me here. All right. Should have left her at the bell.
You cannot. Oh, because okay. You cannot use your key to Evening Star in the reincarnation area.
You cannot. No.
Very well. I got my own person key too. I think next life I'll make sure to get her a couple other things like the Harper Pin and some of those other, like at that point get her some more of the favor rewards. I went ahead and got her the stunning because she's going to need that for her build. It's needed for her build, but I'm taking deflect arrows for the stunning.
Alright.
It is kind of an interesting challenge to build like stock card type characters, like first lifers, second lifers, no racial points, no raid gear. It's an interesting puzzle to solve.
Well, and that's, again, I hate to always bring everything back to hardcore, but that's part of it, right? Like, taking the opportunity to think some of these things through that maybe you didn't think through the last hardcore, or situations like what you're doing right now where you're leveling up an alt, a helper. Alright, look guy, you're gonna have to pull out some real healing spells here soon, I think. Oh, that's the... No, that's a junk guy, okay. Like, that's the red name. That's a bad. We don't want to kill him yet. Do we? No. Kill him after we kill this soulless guy.
Bank is out of range. Open up the bank. He's right fucking here.
I know this is not your problem, my friend, but I'll remind you that for me it's 11 a.m. in the morning.
If you said you're not streaming.
No, I am streaming.
Oh, you said you weren't streaming.
Did I? I said I wasn't streaming the game that I was supposed to stream today.
Oh, I heard you weren't streaming.
Oh, sorry.
That's why I used language not appropriate for the daytime.
Yeah, sorry. My apologies then. I was supposed to be doing Final Fantasy Tactics today, but I'm just too tired to strategize and do things.
Well, that's when you grind out inches for 60 hours.
Yeah, I don't think I want to sit there and... Because I ended right at a chapter change. So, like, I just moved into Chapter 4 last time. So, I'm not sure where it's going to be, like, an easy place to start grinding and stuff like that. So, I don't want to... I don't want to push that kind of stuff. And Lord knows when the appropriate story stuff will start happening. Obi-Wan should be around pretty soon, I think, so... Or Orlando, or whatever his name is.
I remember when he does maybe like 2 or 3/4 of the way into the game.
It hasn't happened yet, and they just kind of introduced him for the story just now, so...
Yeah, he runs around for a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm not looking at any things, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not looking at guides or anything like that. I'll look up things if there's like specific questions, but I'm not.
Yeah, he's busy being a conscientious objector at the moment. And everyone else is like, didn't you kill like 16,000 guys in just your morning walk? And he's like, yeah, but that's different.
Yeah, see, I don't even remember the story at this point. I just know that he like showed up at the end of this one and he started talking, so I'm assuming there's going to be a bunch of story. Oh, good. It looks like Torrance is going to get murdered as she tries to leave this area. That's going to be great. Can we please just...
Yeah, from where you're at, the story just keeps kicking up.
Yeah. So, I said I'm not quite at the point where I'm ready to like jump full bore back into the story mode and everything, so take this week off, have a little bit of downtime. Since we're gonna skip next Monday and next Tuesday, we might do DDO again on Friday next week, but we'll have to see, play it by ear, and then get back to the story. Because I'd like to finish it. I may even have to take a DDO day off and do all Final Fantasy to get it finished, because I want to be finished before the hardcore, I think. I don't want to be like, well, it's Friday and it's hardcore season, but I'm in the last couple hours of this game. That doesn't sound like sound like the way to go. Alright, I think the NPC should be able to hold this stuff off. We can focus on getting Torrance over to the quest area. Assuming the Drow guards give you time to life. Yeah, so that's... I actually think I'm going to do the shift. I'm going to not do my third Tiefling life yet, and I'm going to do a shifter life next, I think. I'm going to refresh myself with the Barbarians and see how I like it.
Heads up, the Razor Claw shifter does not have the cast full rage thing.
Okay, well, then that'll certainly
be... That matters.
Well, it probably would, but...
Regular shifter does.
Yeah. I just want to see what the various Barbarian builds actually just do for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I probably won't have access to a lot of those racial points anyway, but I might plan on having the cast White Raged points spent when I put my build together. Feel like you're shaving some downstairs right now.
I thought I had myself muted.
That's alright.
I hit the button. Apparently I was already muted.
Accidents happen.
Next we're going to build a toilet on the stream.
Ah.
And pile up turds.
What? Like, if you're going to start building toilets, you should just come here and assist me. Build toilets. I'll be building toilets for days, probably. I don't have days. I have today.
You'd have to validate this. I think that the regular shifter, Cast Full Rage, also did clickies and things. But don't quote me on that. It did more than just spells.
Yeah, I did one, and I liked it. I thought it was good, and that's part of the reason I was thinking about using it for my hardcore play. But I'm also just about as inclined to do the melee arty. I just I feel like Warforges are much more difficult to gear in general, like until you get to Ravenloft or whatever. And then there's some places where they're easier to gear, but I don't know. I feel like if I'm going to run around and play something crazy, that the Barbarian will be much easier, because you can do single weapon fighting, you can do bastard swords, you could do two-handed fighting. You just wear light armor, you wear no armor, you sometimes wear medium armor, and you know what kind of Barbarian you are. Like, I just feel like from a gear standpoint, it's much more flexible. As opposed to docents and rune arms and...
Yep, no rune arm on the bear.
Yep. So, like, I still have quite a ways until I'm ready to TR anyway. Like, it's probably going to be another week, which means I may not double up this life. I should think about that, actually. If I'm not going to double up this life, I might do more Slayers than normal. Interesting. Something to think about why I'm doing everything else. Alright, if I res you now, are you... Oh, stupid. Epic defensive fighting, spellcasting range. That That, by the way, I'm pretty sure cost us a 2 chests and Lord of Blades last night. I know it caused us a well, I don't know about no. It certainly helped contribute to having to do Shroud Part 2 twice. I don't think that was like the crux of it, but it certainly hurt people. I was trying to heal people and couldn't.
Oh, yeah. Nope. I think they've even, there was a patch note that looked a little suspicious that said multi-battle cannot be directional, which I think is actually a nerf, because it used to be able to look where you're going. So if they change it to you do have to look where you're throwing, that's a huge Alchemist nerf. From a standpoint of like hiding monsters around.
Right.
Or just like tap target, throw, don't worry about where they're at.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's changed, but
I was curious about that particular release note.
yeah, I think multi-vials didn't used to work that way all the time, and now they do compared to other vials. Before I open this door, I'm gonna wiggle the wife's account. Oh, I have received a letter.
The slave vineyards lead down into the main slave quarters. You'll only find collared, obedient slaves in here.
I wonder who it's from. Ba-da-da-da-da.
The slaves in the sleeping quarters are unattended by slave masters.
Oh, where are you in the world?
I am doing the last of the Chain 3 stuff before I have to go back to Evening Star.
Okay. I will go... I'm gonna go pick up a prescription, but I think...
In the workroom, slaves labor over jobs beneath their drowned masters.
at least get some people set up to start the TR process and then TR them after I get back. TR me and TR Ruby.
Ooh. So what you're telling me is I just happened to like offset just slightly from where I should have been.
No, I'll be 15 though.
Oh, well, that's fine.
And I'm gonna try. I've never leveled up as the bear. I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a try.
Oh yeah. I think you'll like it. A lot of the changes that they made really helped the animations and stuff. Like, it seems much smoother now than it did before, in my opinion. For example, I know you said that you didn't like the.
I like the big fat bear butt.
Yeah, that is unfortunately not.
That is identical to
that
what
is
it was
not
before.
changed. Yeah, that's not changed. But
Now, as far as like from like
the attack animation style, however, has been greatly fixed in my opinion.
yeah, it's oh wait, you gotta clear out your dumb cache. Oops.
Ah, now you have hours before you're ready to go.
I teased it down quite a bit.
Yeah, I had done it really well. I had got it down to where I had to do all of the Vaughn stuff, or not all the Vaughn stuff. I had to get the House K bank, like both tiers of that, but I didn't have to get anything like the last portable hole tier or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I've now acquired enough extra raid loot from doing raids with people that I do have to get that. So I'm gonna have to do some more clearing soon.
Yeah, I teased it down even from that. I don't have to get any favor.
Well, I figure it's very easy to get the first tier of Coin Lord favor, and it's pretty easy to get the House K favor. I get to run around and do the Vaughn stuff. If you can get the raid, great. If you can't get the raid, fine. Who cares? And then like if you have to do the Anvil file, whatever that quest. There's like 4 quests in that bar, then so be it. It takes like an extra 5 minutes of running through those or whatever. God. For a
I
spell,
blew up some artifacts that I was saving for builds I might play. I blew up a lot of stuff.
yeah, that's one of the things that I've actually expanded was I'm trying to assemble one artifact of every like high stat, for lack of a better way to put it, because I switch builds so often. So
Yeah, I
that
ended up deleting the ones from Gatekeepers, except for the Bright Lord. And Charun, I deleted the others. I figured I could just refarm them. It's gonna be painful, but
yeah, and I
you
figure
know what else is painful? TR caches.
yeah. I know. I honestly figure that it really needs to just force me to move bound to account stuff into the shared bank and move the rest of the older like I still have a lot of stuff in my shared bank that I use when I was like, this is my level 4 gear, or like, here's a goggle that's like plus 6 int, here's a goggle that's plus 7 int, here's a goggle that's plus 8 int. Like, I don't need all that stuff anymore. I need to go through and weed that stuff out. But it's gonna take hours to get all that done.
There's time eventually, though. Just make Samus BS Gear 1, 2, 3, and...
Well, I have a bunch of that stuff, and that's just it. I just got to get it moved over. But because all the characters that are coming over from the hardcore server are going to become bank alts, basically, with the possible exception of the newest Samus that came over from hardcore season 3, because he's mostly like, he's level 30 and has some stuff going for him. So like, there's a chance that Samus could get turned into something quickly. But all the rest of them I'm basically just saving for posterity, can turn into bank alts, and then older bank alts are going to get cycled out. And this way I'll have a bunch of, like, if not at cap, higher level characters with some amount of Reaper points, if I ever decide to, like, dust them off and do something with them, instead of, well, here's my level 7 alt holding a few things, you know. The people who have done all the favor have got all the bank space, etc. Bank space, backpack space. Just seems to make sense to me. Yes, give me a hero's feast. So I can't decide if I like the Kobold Gym or not. I'm back and forth. Every once in a while it gets me pretty good. Just now it went, hey, we'll keep watch for you. Just kidding. Or it'll scream, you're awesome! Not really. Those kind of like self-deprecating things tend to make me laugh.
Clean that up, slaves. I don't care if your fingers are bleeding. Your miserable lives mean nothing. New captives await me as we speak.
This concealed passageway is lined with a thin layer of dust. No slave has come to clean here in some time, if ever.
So there's a moment here, and I've been talking about it pretty much every single time I hear it now, because my thought process is the same. Now, I've never owned a slave. Tobrel, you've never owned a slave. But if you...
Yes, that is my official stance.
But I have figured, just like other things, if I had something of value and importance like that, I feel like I would be more inclined to take care of it, as opposed to just like, your miserable lives mean nothing to me, slaves. Work yourselves to the bone. You know what I mean? Like, this the crassness that the drow slavers have for their slaves.
Oh, thank goodness. I thought this was going somewhere
It just
else
doesn't
for a second.
compute to me. No, I'm literally saying I just don't understand there. Like, there's a line, and it's specifically this one line where he's like, your miserable lives mean nothing to me. Work yourselves to the bone. I'm just like, I don't understand.
Well, so I understand, and this is why. Because that guy's not the owner. He's just like kind of a crappy manager.
Alright, that makes sense.
So he's
like most managers.
he's just like, you know, my dad got me this job, and I don't have to actually try. So he doesn't really care.
That is a logic that I hadn't considered. I can
That's
work
what's
with
up there.
that. Like, I can
And you know,
I can understand that mentality now. Thank you.
you're welcome.
I just, maybe it's just me trying to be rational, but it's like your car, right? In my brain, it's like, it's an expensive thing that does a lot of work for you. You know, like, I buy premium gas, I make sure its oils gets changed. You know what I mean? Like, I make sure it's got tires. So we just don't understand this drive hard and put away wet. Although the truck was driven hard and put away wet often. But it's 21 years old now, so it must be doing something right. I just don't. It just didn't compute for me, but now shitty management makes sense to me. Thank you, Tobrel. I appreciate it.
Everything generally has an easy explanation.
Well, I just couldn't find it. It never makes, like, if you have a useful tool, take care of it. Treat stuff right. But I guess that would make sense, you know, the whole slavery bad thing, because people didn't take care of the stuff. I mean, ancestors that came over from Ireland, they were treated pretty terrible. Not necessarily slave terrible, but also very bad, so I just don't, I guess I just don't understand. Shitty management I can understand, though, by God. I haven't checked the wife's account lately. Hopefully she didn't time out. No, she didn't. Good. Alright, I am on my way to Evening Star.
Okay, you're where in Evening Star are you headed?
I'll probably be at the banker because I have to get that piece out of the bank.
Okay. Oh, actually, I clicked on the docs by mistake. That was the correct thing to do.
And then, do you know? Can you share that quest?
The quest for the pieces?
No, the quest for the last one. Or do you have to go collect it in person? I bet you have to collect it in
but
person.
you have to still get all the rewards to be able to be on track.
Yeah, I think I have to go. I think you're right. I think I have to go do it in person.
Alright, there is only one Evening Star.
Yeah, there's usually not more than one Evening Star. Okay. I don't know who's occasionally throwing what random weapon at me or whatever, but let me out. Trying to leave. It's also kind of like I don't understand the idea behind Anna. Like, if you know who's got the magic power, why, and you've had her for a while, why wouldn't you just suck all the magic power right out of her head and be done? Like a Slurpee.
They don't have the correct size straw adapter. It's metric. All the drow stuff is metric.
And Anna's in...
That's why we're fighting the drow, is because they're trying to establish the metric system.
Are you sure it's not the slavery thing?
I'm pretty sure it's the metric system. I don't want to get too far, but the US was okay with one, but not the other.
Now we're in a fight. We literally went to war with ourselves to get rid of both. Maybe we're not into both of them now.
I would actually like us to convert over to metric. I think that'd be a lot better.
I don't think I'd be opposed to that realistically. Like, I'll argue the counter thing against Ben because it makes him mad, which makes me amused. But at the end of the day, I really don't think I would be opposed either way.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to have like variants with like measurements. Like that should probably all be the same, just from a standardization point of view. It'll kind of suck. There'll be a bunch of weird jankety crap for a long time, but it'll eventually all phase out.
Hit accept, my guy.
Oh, I was pacing. Oh, you like my horse?
Let me see. Actually, hang on.
You like my fabulous chestnut horse?
Oh. Yeah, I decided to go all in on, if I was gonna throw wings on, I was gonna do everything. But
do all your regalia? What in the hell? Oh, it's like oh no, that's just your face. Okay. Well, I have low graphics on this screen.
No, I
Your
have
face looks weird.
I have glowy eyes. I have my mascara on.
Eyes from the Reaper thing too. I forgot about that.
You can. I didn't in this case, but these are regular. These are non-Reaper eyes, but I could do Reaper eyes. But those are cosmetic eyes from. I think I won them in some DDR store roll or whatever. But I turned on my Reaper mascara. I turned on my Reaper wings. I turned on my bloody footprints. I'm wearing my season 1 cloak. I'm on my season 2 horse. I got my bloody footprints on. I'm like maximum. Oh, what was it called? Like noob smashing or whatever? I don't know. Something. There was some phrase for it. Turned it all on.
My horse's name is Joan.
I have not named any of the horses.
I just named my horse just now.
Okay. Mine is currently named Horse.
I also know how to farm a horse really fast too.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
Is it take the person with the horse, run around, see what chests are there, and then
Nope.
have the other person run
Go to
around?
left. If it's there, kill it. Take your other 5 accounts. Go loot. Repeat.
Oh.
Only that chest.
Yeah, I don't have 5 accounts to run through. I probably could, but that seems rough. That means your 5 accounts have to have keep on the borderland then, huh?
It was part of the code.
Was it? Yeah, I didn't, like, I had made some extra accounts for the code, and took and farmed them up to get, like, that first 100, or 200 points to buy the first 2 packs or whatever. I played them on the hardcore server. so that all that stuff would be still fresh for the people I gave them to. And I plan to like give them to my brother and my sister-in-law, and because they play WoW now, and I was like, well, here's an account with all this stuff in DDO that it's free to play forever and has the first 2 expansions, you know what I mean? Come play DDO with me sometime. And like I did all that work the first day, and then I tried to log back in since then, and I guess it doesn't like the passwords. But the email addresses I used apparently didn't work. Or, oh, I know what it is. Because I didn't confirm the email address or something at the right time, they discontinued the account or something.
That's weird.
Yeah, it was weird. So I have 2 accounts out there that I built, used the code on, farmed up enough points for the first 2 things, and cannot get into.
I wonder why I can't get into Bang and Helper Bot.
Possibly. I mean, those accounts are already established. Like, I created them, logged in, and started doing stuff. Like, I didn't go check my email, and I used the same email address on both of them, which apparently I didn't like, so then I...
Oh, that could be a problem.
Yeah, so then I used that a service that makes a temporary email that's good for like 48 hours or something.
That could be another problem.
Yeah, so there's like lots of things that I did incorrectly. I think that if I were to do it over again, I would have.
That's probably what crashed Sarlona the other week.
That's definitely what crashed Sarlona. The fact that I, for hardcore season
Between
3,
that and the fact they spilled some sweet and sour sauce on the server is what happened.
You think?
Yeah. They don't actually have virtual servers, they just told us that. They actually just like rigged up a bunch of like Internet of Things devices. So like there's like an air fryer that's like the login server.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know everything today.
I missed a bit of that. Can you re-rant for me?
Oh, yeah, so they told us they have virtualized equipment. They
Right.
don't.
Oh, you don't think so?
They have a bunch of Internet of Things equipment. Like hair dryers and refrigerators and microwaves and such. The login server is an air fryer.
Uh-huh.
And when we're waiting in lines because somebody's making wings.
I gotcha. Was there even a...
Quote unquote maintenance?
Were air fryers...
It's actually like potluck day.
were air fryers even a thing 15 years ago when the game was built?
I mean, the stuff that goes in the smart air fryer was.
Well,
It's like when people run Doom on like their you know, their watch.
Okay, I get you. So the reason I ask is because
Look, I understand everything now. I'm just tired enough to know all things.
the web server and the
Washer dryer.
well, the web server is the same thing as the login server. They're on the same machine, and they're on the same allegedly digital machine as well. That's why when the forums go down, people can't log in, and vice versa. They're on the same virtual machine. So I could, like a microwave, like I would buy a microwave because microwaves are pretty common and smart microwaves are pretty common 15 years ago. But I don't know if I'd buy an air fryer. Maybe a convection oven. Maybe one of those.
Is an air fryer. Just small. Can't trick me. I know everything today.
Damn it! Thought I could get you.
No, I know everything.
That was a very elaborate planning right there.
Only today, though. Only today do I know everything.
Okay, it's fair.
And
Hey,
only until I leave the house to go get lunch.
well,
After which I will no longer know anything.
now's your opportunity to like jump in on all the upcoming stocks. Then, like if you know all the things today, if today's the day, should be analyzing things to be become wealthy.
Doesn't matter. Time and market beats timing the market every time.
Not necessarily every time, but I would say like 99.9% of the time. There are certainly exceptions that prove that rule. There are a lot of people who grabbed that GameStop price at the right time and got in, got out, and made a whole shit ton of money.
I would be a little surprised if there wasn't some level of action on that from either the SEC or
I don't think they can.
perhaps other organizations.
I think that people are going to get taxed to high heaven, but I think they're just going to realize what it's like for people that have the that get that particular tax. They're going to be shocked. But I don't think there's a legal recourse there that like.
I have a feeling that if it's not that, then that's going to be like the catalyst of like watching stuff.
Well, I mean, it should have been before. It's just the difference is that the scrubs didn't have a good means to go together, and now that tier of people do, you know. Like, there was nothing stopping you and I from getting on Facebook, making a Facebook group, and doing the same thing years ago, except, what? Okay, that's weird. Except for the fact that our reach probably would have been smaller. Oh, sweet, I got the big portal. Nice. Where Reddit and that particular group was just so big that they didn't realize the power that group has. But you get 50,000 monkeys together, and I only call them monkeys because that's what they call themselves, ape strong. And
Harambe would have liked the stock.
Put a lot of effort and work into something. I'm like, ha ha ha! You guys who make these bets, every once in a while you get caught with your pants down. I think what's going to happen is that the Congress and the are going to bail their friends out. That's what the punishment's going to be. The bigger people who have the multi-million-dollar fundraisers for these politicians are going to get a check written by you and me to cover the problem.
Well, I suspect something will change.
It's possible that they could update the rules for it, but the ones who succeeded are not gonna. Like, I don't think they can. I mean, who knows? The government.
They're not gonna hit this thing, but I feel like there is some reform on the horizon. Well, and this is going to be a pivotal moment pointed at by the reformers.
Yeah. Well, if people don't learn from this, like the people who are burnt don't learn their lesson to like pay attention to what's going on, then they deserve to get burned again in the future. Sometimes people are fast to learn, and sometimes people are slow. So, I mean, the fact that people banded together to get them, I think, is the mentality that needs to change. Like, what put a group of people in a situation where they would rather lose money and make you suffer than take the opportunity to profit themselves in a reasonable way, you know? Perhaps that should be the big lesson. But I don't think it will be. I think at the end of the day, there might be some big changes. But the people who figured out this situation are gonna keep winning, I think, in this situation. What do we have? Famine Reaper? That's fine. Kill famine whenever the famine gets close.
Alright, I'm gonna go grab
Your sweet
lunch and
prescription.
my prescriptions because I'm an old person, and then come back and hit some TR buttons.
Oh man. Well, have fun spending your half an hour doing the TR things.
They are unloaded and ready to rock. I just gotta click buttons. Well, one of them's gonna be boxed, 34 points. I think that's gonna hit straight to 20. Because they're gonna have a 50 pot and a voice in guild buffs.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, they
Allegedly,
won't have a voice because they don't have an augment. Okay, so they won't have that. They'll still have a 50 pot and guild buffs.
did you not run them through Delirious at all?
They're not gonna have a voice from level 1.
Oh.
They're not gonna level up to 5 just to put on a voice. If I'm gonna box it, I'm just gonna box it. It's 34 points.
I understand now.
If
was
it doesn't 20 it, it'll be close.
Yeah, I was under the impression that you were iconicking again to...
I was gonna, but then I thought about having to bring it back up again, and how much Destiny XP it really needed to function. Because like Destiny, like it's not even like 4311. It's like 3211 for this build for the requirements
Okay. For Destiny stuff.
for the twists.
Uh-huh.
So it has like some of the spheres filled out. All I have to do is make sure and it's 8.25 to cap out million. It's what, 6 million to fill your
Yeah.
karma,
Correct.
aka peg all your destinies in a sphere.
Right.
And I have 2 martial spheres pegged out for elusive target. And then I need, for deific warding, you need to have all 3 of your divine spheres pegged out. And they already have some, so I'll have hit that by 29. And then that should also be enough twist points by that point in time. And if not, it's just going to be a little bit of struggle bussing through something to get it, or dragging it a little bit longer.
So this is the only thought / argument for that is that if you're gonna box anyway, there's nothing that says that you can't box your 15, and it would definitely cap you to 20. Right?
I'm gonna turn her into a human.
Oh, okay. See, the only other thing you could do is PK, or Purple Dragon Knight for human. Okay.
No, she's gonna be human.
Yeah, all makes sense. I said I was. Again, you
Human,
changed your plans
34
on.
points.
You had changed your plans middle of doing things, so
I did change my plan because I was gonna do 2 Morning Lords. And
Yeah.
I decided that
Mine's-
getting 36 point wasn't gonna do a whole lot.
Yeah. See, I was under the impression it was more for like the extra spell pins and stuff.
I mean, that would be good, but then I also like thought, you know what? 2 more spell pin for the amount of work required. I'll live, because a lot of the...
Well, by doing a warlock, if you're not doing DC based warlock, which I don't think you will on even a first life or a second life or a third life.
Oh, it's still going to have enough DCs only insta kills on the setting it's running. It's just probably not going to beat spell pin. But you have web, you can just blast things with Eldritch Blast, and you can change it to pierce to get through spell resistance if you have to. And there's Evart's Tentacles.
Yeah.
So it'll be okay.
Yeah.
And I can also just try to cherry pick and not run like all Drow quests. Like maybe don't run all Tetramar or whatever.
Well, I thought your plan was to basically have that person be when you ETR'd or whatever, you would basically go and do like
When I hit 20, it runs me through a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it'll be the thing that gives you reasonable first times for Ravenloft or whatever, and maybe Sharn or whatever it is, and then you can get that
Ravenloft,
big boost.
harder stuff, like Fear and Bear Chain.
Yeah, and you're talking like 4s, right? Like not 7s or 6s or anything. You're just talking like 4s.
Probably just 4, yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually she would get to a point, like if she runs some shrouds and stuff, she could do 6. If she got a shroud off the end, but...
Sounds like more work than before.
4 should be... With what I laid out, 4 should be very doable. Hell, even if you do like a 2 or 3, and you just burn those quests, like you don't get your big first time on those quests, it's still a sizable amount. It's still a sizable amount, and you stay on your 50 pot. So you basically like cruise through your like an Orchard Slayer. Maybe you cook through chain 1, 2, 3 because that's high XP.
Yeah, the
And then after that, you have your little helper person. You hit like 25, 26. You have your helper person, drag you all the rest of the way up, and then you have changed builds.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad plan. Like I said, I'm trying to figure out how to implement what I want to implement of that as well with bringing the wife's account through. There are places where I would love to have. Be like, all right, well, there's nothing really going on right now, so let's do this. You know, or in my situation, like, all right, I really would like to have somebody come drag me through Three Barrel Cove stuff. All right, well, I have somebody who can do Three Barrel Cove on 3 or 4, and then whoever else comes along, so be it. So, I appreciate that idea. I think it's going to be a good one. I think you'll get a lot of success out of it.
Yeah, I regret not having done this before because, man, the guy doing it now, I think I told you, we did the math, and like, he's going to be at 11 million Reaper points in a couple months and have his racial completionist. Like his racial epic. Or close to it.
I guess I don't know what you're talking about. Your racial epic.
His racial lives, his racial completionist.
Uh-huh.
And like all the epic lives done.
Okay.
In a few months.
Oh, you just mean from beginning to end?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it's probably quite fast for a lot of work or whatever you want to call it. Like,
yeah, so
it can do a lot of value if you're making that happen.
He's gonna have those. He's gonna have a lot. Oh man, 10 million Reaper XP is 100 points. 11 million is another what, 5 points?
I have no idea.
I think so. So he's gonna have over 100 points.
I have not studied that chart ever, so.
Well, I know from 100 to the next level is 200, and then it just keeps growing up by little bit by little bit. So he'll have around like 105 points.
Yeah, like right now I'm at 6 million Reaper points, and I'm almost at 80. That seems bonkers.
I mean, he just sat down, he did the math, and he's okay with grinding. He likes playing the class that's doing leveling. He enjoys it a lot.
Well, that's, I think, the other thing, right? That would make more sense if, like, for example, if I'm doing that for the wife right now, right? You know, I'm enjoying this build. Is it my favorite build of all time? No, but if I decide that, okay, I'm gonna grind her a bunch of epic past lives or whatever, it would make sense for me to do that for her on Samus. You know, especially if I gave Samus a build that I really enjoy. It would just make sense. So if you're enjoying it and having fun, then it's not grind. Kind of like,
Yep.
if you're doing what you love, you're not working, right?
I like the Warlock. Simple. not a whole lot to it. The only thing I don't like is I won't have knock, which is gonna kind of suck for certain things, but
Can be overcome for
not the end of the universe.
not not an outstanding cost. Well, I fixed the don't get poisoned thing, and now I immediately fail a will save.
Oh, wow, that's bad. Other thing is that this is a second account, which means a theoretical person in the future would have a fully functional flag for everything. Hey, you want to play the game with me?
Right.
So.
Well, again, that's part of that advantage, like you said, of having a second account ready to go, or even a third at some point. Like if you spawned and this game was still running, or joined by a brother, or
more likely him than anything.
a lady friend.
Are you trying to kill your friends on purpose? Come on, hell!
Sometimes I hate hirelings as much as you guys do. This one in particular is just bad and should feel bad. Alright. Guess we're getting rescued by the wife's account. So, like, for me, I'm looking for a build where she can finish her completionist and then also probably be full spell singer. Full razor, have fast movements. Yeah, probably bard of some sort. Figure out some sort of bard frame. I don't know.
Tell you what, I really like the 1811 that I posted. Switch it to single weapon fighting now. You have traps, you have sky high DCs for CC, you have respectable DPS, you have the party healing going on. It's very good. It's not like Uber dips, but you solve a lot of problems.
Yeah.
And you still contribute DPS. Like if you show up to a raid and there's another bard, like it's not the end of the world.
Right. Yeah, I don't think that's a bad build for lots of things. I mean, I've been doing similar things for a while, so obviously. Mine was 16-2-2, but obviously I've been there, done that. Alright, idiot. Will you go click the shrine, please? Anyway, I know you got stuff to do. You should definitely get it done. I'm probably going to finish this chain, and I'm very tempted to wrap it up.
That's what Bangin was. I think he was 16-2-2.
Getting that last capstone,
This is best part.
I think makes a big difference to some degree.
Level 18 for the War Chanter full base attack bonus is a lot of DPS due to your attack speed.
Yeah, like I said, I think there's some value there. As opposed to not
like,
having
you get that, and you get like a little bit of PRR.
Yeah,
So it's pretty worth.
Yeah, well, when I was doing the 16-2-2, obviously that was not the thing, but having quickened auto stance was like the reasoning, and then you're like, well, I might as well get evasion, and I needed fighter levels. I needed a fighter level anyway, although cleric now is probably better, or favored soul, one of the two.
Today, favorite soul, if you want to be like a real crazy future proof, I'd say cleric.
Yeah.
Confront got nerfed into the absolute ground. People were doing things they were not supposed to do. Still.
Getting tales from Mahmood here, looking for for filigrees. He hit me up, a couple of days ago looking for something that I didn't have. And now I think he does. And now he's looking for some rare prowess thing, prowess MMR or PRR. If you have one of those that you're looking to trade, Mahmood might.
Regular or rare?
He said rare. I just asked that same question.
Okay.
All of my rares are Occupado.
I'm trying to sell rares actually. Sell rares for rerolls.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what Mahmood's rate is or what he's looking for or whatever, but I'm letting you know.
Okay.
Trying to rebuild my position in the community is not the full-time soloer that I normally was, although I'm doing an awful lot of that this life. But I don't run a lot of that stuff very often where those drop from, so...
A bard is all the party sometimes.
Yeah. Can be.
You need CC? Done. You need heals? Done. You need DPS? Done. You need traps? Done. You need stealth? Done.
Yeah, I'm likely to... So I'm going to do an iconic on her, I think. And I think it'll be the Bard one. The problem is that the Tiefling past life feat doesn't especially do a whole lot. But as I only have iconics left, I don't want to... Currently, I do not wish to level up a not Samus character from 1 to 15.
I mean, if iconics is all you have left. You don't have any classes left, do you?
No, not on Samus. Samus, everything's done. Everything's done by iconics. People keep asking me how long it took, and I'm like, I don't know. I played the whole way through, so... I feel like the racial ones actually were the fastest. Because I had done a gnome one by mistake or whatever, because I had accidentally bought the wrong heart. So I had done one gnome one, but everything other than that, all the rest of those races were done in a year. So how
Pretty
many?
healthy clip.
Yeah. Well, and I was but I wasn't going all the way to 30. I was just going to.
I mean, still
Just going to 20. I was doing one a week.
One a week. Skip some weeks.
Well, keep in mind that we had 3 hardcore seasons in that year.
Oh yeah, that's probably a bit excessive.
Well, but I didn't play all of season 2. I only played for what, 13 days or something. That was my previous my get all the things record. Or was it 11? Maybe it was 11. But yeah, season 2 I didn't play very much. I just got my stuff and left. This time I'm actually debating on doing 2 lives. Doing whatever Samus's is, and then depending on what the rewards are, doing one on Torrance's account. One that's a little bit... Like, she doesn't need the Reaper stuff, you know? Like, whatever that happens to be. But if it's a horse, I might get the horse or some sort of mount.
I mean, horse on an account is pretty good.
Yeah.
Assuming everyone gets a horse.
Yeah. I assume that that'll be the case. I assume that they're not going to change that formula so much. They'll just... some sort of mount. I really hope it's not a horse. But whatevs. I also hope Linabelle finishes the new stable thing. That would be
Now that
real
you've
nice.
got magical components, elements that can
Don't know if you follow Linabelle on Twitter or even look at Twitter. Even still have a
I
Twitter.
don't get Twitter.
Yeah, I should give it up. I should give it up except for the fact that I get a lot of live news from Twitter and a lot of DDO interaction. Like, those are the only reasons I still have Twitter, DDO, and live news. But Linabelle posted a mount stable that works kind of like the pet stable. And that'd be
That
real
is
goddamn nice.
Exactly what it needs to be.
I do not disagree with you. I tweeted back, make this happen now. My backpack would appreciate it. I think the reason that it may not get implemented or may get implemented weirdly, I have the feeling that you might get like one and then you have to buy it, I bet, is because one of the expansions they gave away that or not expansions, one of those things you get the bag. So I bet they're going to replace the bag with that, and there'll be tiers that you have to buy. But still, I'll take it.
It'd be nice if people who bought the bag would get a little bit of credit of some sort.
That's what I mean. I think they'll make it piecemeal, so you have to buy it. Because I bought the bag. I bought the bag because I got pissed off on the hardcore server. Died immediately after farming a horse.
Yeah, they came from the White Plume pack.
Correct.
That's exactly why I bought that pack too, was for the bag. Although, don't you get like sentience every life with that now too?
I don't know. You get something every new server.
Yeah.
I think
Okay,
so.
pretty
I know
hardcore,
I know I get like 5,000 sentience every hardcore.
I think that's what that's from. So that kind of is.
Oh, it's very good. I also bought it for the bag. I also bought it for the horse. So
It's been a little extra value.
yeah, I don't want them to. I feel like they already lessered my value from VIP. I don't want them to lessen it more.
Well,
Poor
maybe
Floor. I
they'll
wish I had
do
access to
something for
Floor's
VIP
account.
Soon.
Say
Maybe.
what?
Maybe I'll do some more VIP things.
They said that they're working on something. I feel like I need to be more vocal on the forums because that's apparently the only place they give a crap about on the no ransack for VIPs. I have not been using my rune arm today as like I should because I've been on and off with a horse. They need to make it where the horse just suppresses your auto attack when you rune arm.
Didn't they fix the random horse thing?
Well, it doesn't prevent... You can get on your horse, but it disables and turns off the... your rune arm is what it does. So if you get back off the horse, then your rune arm is disabled.
Oh. So what, you get on the horse and throw your rune arm on the ground?
No, I mean it's still on your hand.
I'm
It's just-
mounted! I cannot use a rune arm! I will fling it into the ocean!
Yeah, it's still on, it's just not... It doesn't charge or whatever. So, one of the things that sucks about rune arms is you have to hit a button to turn it on, so it charges, and you have to hit a button again to fire it, right? But you have an auto charge feature, so if you use your auto charge feature, the rune arm, you only have to hit the one button to fire it, which is not as bad or as complicated as having to hit the button several times, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it increases your overall DPS if you're otherwise not doing anything, because now when you're standing still or whatever, it's charging for you automatically. Speaking of, not only do I get the rune arm from the new raid, I also got the Titan Tobin's hammer from the raid last night.
One of the tokens is really good.
I got a little bit disappointed though, because I got very excited thinking that the hammer set gave you +4 intelligence and charisma and whatnot. Because I started thinking about gearing and hybrid things that I like to do, and I think the mage right set is going to be the thing that glues together melee and DC spellcasting, because then you can run your 3-piece Sharn set, you can run your mage right set, and then there's a little bit of wiggle room for a 4-piece winter, but that's it. So someone was like, well, where do you put your spell power? I'm like, well, you put your spell power in your winter ring, or like primarily in your winter ring, and then you're basically good to go. Because it doesn't get much higher than that now, because you don't need the belt, and you can squeeze in an exceptional in a couple of places. So I started working on a gear list, but now it's going to involve a lot of raid gear that I don't want to have to deal with.
Guess it depends what your spell power is.
Well, probably Necro, which is what the winter one gives you, if I remember right. Either that or the hat, one of the two. Because I think you wear the winter ring, winter hat, the hybrid belt, and if you do... There's one other spot that you can cram in a winter thing. I don't remember off the top of my head now. Like, I was starting to piece
Glove
it together.
artifact is pretty good, but that...
Oh, the necklace? No, because you need the necklace for the family.
I guess it depends what your artifact is. Like, winter glove is pretty good.
Again, family.
Oh, glove, yeah.
But no, I'd started piecing it together where it kind of made sense if you're doing the Pale Master thing. Maybe it was an orb. Oh no, there was something. But I really like Artie. I really like that 2 Artie splash now. I can deal with losing evasion, I think. Wear medium armor.
Dreadkeeper is a glove too, isn't it?
What?
Dreadkeeper's also a glove.
Yes. Draw, armor, bracer, and glove. Oh, maybe the bracer is what I was thinking about, actually. Because the winter bracer, I think, is good, right? That sounds correct.
Winter bracer is quite good.
Yeah, I feel like that was it. That's the other piece. And you wear the int belt. That's your artifact. And then you do the goggles for the Mage Right set, gives you your quality intelligence, and then the DC spellcasting ring gives you your insightful intelligence. So that covers all your important, your big 3 intelligence things, and then filigrees and the globe of Imperial Blood and whatnot gives you the rest of your intelligence. So I think it's there, I just...
Maybe better itemization for the insightful int with your rune arm or orb.
It's, if you use... Again, I was thinking that it gave you the +4 artifact intelligence with the rune arm, but it doesn't. So, you probably...
I'm referring to where you're putting your... You could ditch that ring and do something else.
Maybe. I don't know. Again, I
Because
haven't...
Profane,
I was
wanted to
just
say the winter
spitballing.
neck could also profane.
It might be. It might be. So you may not have to do that. But the point is that there's easier ways to slap in the +10 insightful intelligence, I think, if you're using your goggles for... I mean, you could do it the other way around, too. Right? You could do +10 insightful on your intelligence. You could run the quality intelligence trinket, which I have not been able to get yet. And then... you still kind of have the same setup, so I need to look at it. Hey, Nikki Gamer, welcome to the stream.
I'm gonna bounce in two here, but don't. It might behoove you to also look at
I'm
various
still
permutations of Sulu set and Tinker set.
yeah, I'm still a long ways away from getting there. I was just stuff started kind of like mentally clicking together the other day, so I'm not ready to buy anything yet. I'm still several dozen lives away probably from being ready to look at final quote-unquote gear sets. Right, I've still got all my Warforged lives to do, all the Shifter lives to do. I've got all the Sun Elf lives to do.
A lot of stuff can and will change between here and there.
Yeah, Shatterkai lives to do.
Those are quite good sets to have in.
Well, I was thinking normally in raids, right? I'm not really there for the raid gear. I'm just there for whatever happened, you know. If it drops in my name, I'll probably keep it unless somebody else asks for it.
Yeah, just.
But I'm trying to get an idea of like, oh yeah, I would like these goggles because I'm doing them much more regularly now than I was doing them before. You know, or,
Just if you're going to try to do physical DPS, accuracy is a really huge thing. So you're going to need
that's true.
like either accuracy or a high deception value. The very high deception value will help if you're 2-hit, as
Right.
well as trying to squeak out some more damage, because it's going to be difficult to itemize for damage as well as.
Yeah, that's Beef's. Well, that's everybody's comment, right? So.
It's not. It's a little easier than it was before to try to itemize for it. You're going to be missing something. I think the much harder thing at this point, the crunch, is feats.
Yeah. Well, and you know how I like to play. I always play extra. Like I want to be. I like killing things. I like insta-killing things. I like that. But I also know how much it sucks when it's like, all right, well, I killed 90% of the quest to get to the end boss, and now I either stand here and do nothing, or stand here and do nothing. So I like having ways to be able to contribute to that end fight, or things that you can't insta-kill, or...
Which generally is just SLAs or just raw spell DPS.
Right. Which, especially on my preferred class, that's not always a thing that you can really get away with. So, I don't know, that's where I like having a fallback. So if my melee DPS is not as good as, say, you know, somebody who's specializing in melee DPS, it's not that big of a deal to me. As long as I can contribute in some way, as opposed to stand there and pick my nose. But I was just beginning to think about it, and with an eye of what kind of gear stuff I'm willing to put in my TR cache for potential use.
I still think like unlimited spells and SLAs are going to do more DPS than your physical.
I don't know. That's just it. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Especially with some of the other things that are happening. And it doesn't mean you can't do all of it. Right? Like, how many bosses are immune to negative energy damage? Almost all of them.
Several.
So, like, having... That's part of the reason I like the way that other build did. With the Force PK Wizard. Because that gave me a whole slew with the Shadow Blades and the Rune Arm charges and Magic Missile type effects that were cheap to have something to do during those kind of fights. So I really like that as well. So we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, I've got at least 10 more lives to go. So we're 10 non-hardcore playing weeks away. Probably double that, so at least 20 non-hardcore weeks away from having to make real decisions. And
Did
then
your epics done yet?
no, not all of my epics. because they added all those ones. I had done all the ones that I wanted to when the cap was still 25, but I'm
So
still
there's at
working.
least 12 more then?
Yeah, so I'm still working through Epic TRs also.
That could be something good for that alt account also.
Yeah, it'd be really
That could
good.
help alleviate the horribleness that is doing ETRs back to back because it's real bad.
Correct. Well, if you could do 3, right? If you could do...
Oof.
If you
I
could
guess it's
do...
less bad now that there's a little bit more content. But
Yeah,
oof.
you go 20 to 30 with like saga prepping and stuff like that. Non-Sharn, non-Shroud, or non-Sharn, non-Ravenloft saga prepping. You ETR. You jump to like 22-ish with your prep sagas and pots if you want. You do Slayer to get back up where you want to go. And then you prep one of the other big sagas, whether it's Ravenloft or Sharn. That pretty much caps you out. Then you ETR again. You have your carrier carry you through the other one after eating the sagas back up to wherever you can get. And then you can kind of like clean up the rest of your first times. The math should work out without having to do any repeats except for things that you like shrouds and whatever raids that you can pick up along the way. But I would have to really sit down and math it out. But I tell you right now that the method that I'm using right now for doubling up, doing the iconic and then the epic TR of questing the first life through and then doing saga or slayers for the second life through is very, very fast. The slayer life is like 7 hours or something like that. So if you split that over 2 and you had someone carry you through Sharn and someone carry you through Ravenloft, I bet that would let you do a third life before you had to TR. But I am not that hard up for knocking out those epic lives yet.
Okay. I don't think there's a saga, but there is just Feywild in general.
Feywild has sagas now. I always
Oh,
forget
so-
about that one because I dislike that zone.
So there's
So yeah, there's a
there's
bunch
a
of
considerable
sagas.
amount of XP for the Polar account to do.
Correct, exactly. So on my
Well, those
first,
quests I feel are a little rougher than say Ravenloft.
yeah. So my first life right now, when I do a fresh iconic, chain 1 through 3. Get the 3 Evening Star sagas prepped, right? If I wanted to do 4, I could do 4 with the one that involves Stormhorns and the prison. But I don't love those quests, so I tend to skip those. So I prep those 3 sagas. I prep Giant Hold Saga because I like Giant Hold. And I try to do 3 Barrel Cove Saga. That's usually, those 5 sagas are usually enough to get you to 28, 29. And then I just dick around with whatever you guys are doing, right? If it's Sharn, if it's Ravenloft, if it's Feywild, whatever. That's usually enough to like pull me to the end. Then I ETR. I eat those 4 to 5 sagas that I have prepped. Go do Grim Disturbance. That's like 23. Because I don't use XP pots. That's 23. Then I can go do Orchard, Ravenloft Slayer, Thunderhome Slayer. Those 3 Slayers are usually really easy to get groups for. Whichever one happens to be going, I jump into or start. And then that'll pull you back into that 28, 29 zone, which again is easy to like tag along with everybody else. So I think it could work. I think it could happen, but there's lots and lots of content out there now, especially in the plus level 30 content. So I think you could do 3 lives. I don't think you could do 4, but I think you could get away with 3. I just am not that well versed in everything just yet. But anyway, Tobrell's going to take off. I'm actually going to call it an early night or an early stream as well. I'm mentally exhausted. We're almost 24, just doing chain 2. But I've got to get that toilet done. So an extra hour on working on the toilet is going to be is valuable to me. So I'm going to get out of here as well. Thanks everyone for hanging out. I appreciate it. Tobrell, thanks for keeping me awake and giving me someone to talk to while I drone through chain 2. And I will see you guys probably on Wednesday for the final Fall of the Noob. The final Fall of the Noob. Alright, everybody. Peace and much love, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday. Toodles.